Assalamu alaikum, my dear sisters. Today I want to share with you 10 tips that will help you to get ready last minute for Ramadan. And welcome to Clutter Free Hijabi, a place where we try to declutter our lives and to become the best version of ourselves and the best Muslimas. Before we begin, I want to ask you one question that is extremely important for all of us. What is the goal of fasting Ramadan? Personally, I believe that the best way to remember something is to explore the topic ourselves. So today I have a task for you. I want you to give me your answer on this question in the comments, but no cheating or looking at other people's comments. And I will reveal the answer on this question at the end of this video, so make sure to watch the whole video. You can pause the video here to do so. Now let's move on the video. The first and probably the most important tip is setting up a good intention. In Islam, intention is everything, well, almost everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us about every deed we do. Why and for whom we do it, whether is it for Allah Almighty or for people to say, look, she is fasting, or look, she is praying, she is a good Muslimah. So whether we were sincere in our intention to fast this Ramadan for sake of Allah, it could be reason for Allah to record it as a good deed or as a sin. And don't be fooled by Shaitan lanatullahi alayh. Not only the reward can be lost, but we also can earn a punishment if we do our deeds for sake of people. And the reward for doing things for the right reason is really big, especially for fasting. So use this time to make sure you have a best intention possible to please your Creator. Second tip is goal setting. We all have different ways of planning to get closer to Allah this Ramadan, which is understandable because we are all different. And what is difficult for me may be easy for some of you and vice versa. For this reason, it is really important to know your strengths and your weaknesses in your Iman. Some of the goals for the month of Ramadan could be to read the entire Quran or half of it, to memorize part of the Quran, to pray tahajjud or tarawih every night, and so on. What is really important is to have these goals written down. Start preparing them now. If you want to read the whole Quran, it means that you will have to read 20 pages every day. If that currently sounds like too much for you, you can use this short time to improve yourself as much as possible. Take, for example, 5 days to read 5 pages per day, then 5 days and try to read 10 pages per day, and then 5 days you can try reading 15 pages per day. Or you can make your own plan. Third and really important part is fixing your prayer. Ramadan is the month of tarawih and tahajjud, but if you're going to pray something that is sunnah and neglect the daily and obligatory prayers, then it's better for you to give up on what is not obligatory. Don't get me wrong, praying tarawih in the mosque with other Muslims or praying tahajjud is great for you, and to practice the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, this is not something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you about on the day of judgment. So if you currently have the problem with praying daily prayers, please focus on them first. Start slowly. For example, for a person who on average pray 2 daily prayers, the best strategy before this Ramadan would be to start praying 3 daily prayers, and then 4, and then from the first day of Ramadan to start with all 5, inshallah. I know that you probably feel guilty about this. I've been there a few years ago, but journey is slow. I'm asking all of you not to judge our sisters who are struggling with their prayers or wearing hijab. We have no idea what someone is going through to start that praying or to start dressing more modestly, especially if they don't live in Islamic environment like Islamic country or Islamic household. I ask Allah to make it easier for all of us, and that this Ramadan would be turning point in our lives. Next thing is the Quranic time. The number of pages that you read is less important than the pages you reflect upon. If you plan to read 20 pages a day during Ramadan without paying any attention to the meaning of it or reading the translations and thinking about those pages that you read, then it's much better for you to read 10 or even 5 pages a day that you will truly think about. Remember, reading slowly is a sunnah. Before we continue with today's video, I want to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me a lot with algorithm. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Make a list of du'as. You know that feeling when Ramadan finally arrives and you pray tahajjud or tarawih and you want to pray for everything you need, things that you thought about a million times, and then at that exact moment you can't remember anyone. The best way to prevent this from happening is to prepare ahead of time. Buy a notebook and dedicate it solely to your du'as. Every day when you remember a du'a, write it down. This will help you so much with this, I promise. Then we have books and videos that will help you with your Imam. Surround yourself with as many reminders of Islam as possible. Ramadan is ideal time to read all those books that you have bought and promised yourself you'd read but you haven't yet. If you're not sure what to read from Islamic literature, I'll leave you some titles in the description below this video. Those are some Islamic classics in my opinion, and they truly leave a mark on our heart when we read them. If you're currently too busy to read, if you're a new mother or have a job that requires a lot of time or energy, then I recommend you to create a Ramadan playlist on YouTube and to listen to some of these videos every day. Next tip is cleaning and organizing your home. Ramadan is truly a time to dedicate ourselves more to prayer, to Quran, to Islam overall. So I ask you to deep clean your home, to have fewer obligations during Ramadan. Make a cleaning plan and organizing plan. Also remember that cleanliness is half of our faith. Organize your house, your apartment to be functional for you. Let it be one less worry this Ramadan. Of course, you'll have to clean again during Ramadan, but it's much easier to clean space that is deep clean already and organized. And finally, let cleaning be an act of worship or ibadah. Do it in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take care of your family. Cook, clean, whatever you do. Take care of your family to praise Allah, and He will reward you for that. Then we have decoration. When I say decoration, I absolutely don't mean that crazy decorating your whole house and spending thousands of dollars and imitating non-believers at this matter. But setting up a new or nicer silverware, decorating your walls with some Islamic art, or buying something for children to bring the spirit of Ramadan closer to them and help them love Ramadan from the early age. Remember, Ramadan is a month of giving to others, and the best charity is charity towards your family. Also, you can set up a praying corner somewhere in your home that will remind you to pray more, both you and your family as well. Then we have a meal prep. Preparing recipes and buying groceries before Ramadan starts will make such a change. It will make meal prepping easier and faster. This will leave you with so much more time and energy during the day. You can prepare freezer meals before Ramadan even starts and use them on those days when you're really busy and tired, or save them for the last 10 days of Ramadan and fully dedicate those days to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to pray, to read the Quran. And finally, maintain a nutritious diet. Unfortunately, Ramadan is oftentimes when we don't pay as much attention to food we eat. Fast food, sweets and healthy drinks are something that we every day do on Ramadan. And this is something that we must change, because this type of food
doesn't give us enough energy that we desperately need in the month of Ramadan. We need a balanced diet full of fruits, vegetables, and proteins. Trust me, this is essential this month. In order to have a blessed Ramadan, we need to make an effort to settle the debt from previous Ramadan. I don't know how this happened, but every year I leave at least one part of my missing fast for the month just before Ramadan itself. Every year I promise myself not to do that, but here I am. Does this happen to you too, or am I the only one? Let me know in the comments. Look, those days are our debt to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if someone close to us passes away with that debt remaining, we are obligated as family members to fast those days and settle that debt to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't forget to fast all missed days from the previous Ramadan before this one begins.
And finally, I want to give you answer of the question from the beginning of the video. What is the purpose of fasting the month of Ramadan? So this purpose is mentioned in the Quran. So the purpose of fasting is to be God conscious, or the taqwa. Taqwa refers to being constantly aware of God's presence and thus trying to live our life by ethic and principle of the faith at all times. That's all for today's video. May Allah reward you for staying to the end of this video. I hope it will benefit both you and me in this world and in Akhirah. Inshallah, the next video will be about cleaning and organizing decluttering for the month of Ramadan. So make sure to subscribe to my channel and to ensure you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching. May Allah reward you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.